You're live, Deborah.
Me?
You're live, Deborah.
What about you? You're part of this channel.
I'm not here. I'm the ghost tonight.
You are part of this channel.
No, I'm
Whether you like it or not.
I'm invisible.
No.
Yep.
No. Yeah, okay. Well, why me? Curse. There's nobody even here yet. We have to wait for our peeps.
Does anybody want to come in and join us? This is exciting already, isn't it? See, I think it's because everybody usually comes in.
Huh?
What?
Because it's what?
What? Huh? What? Where?
Where?
Hi.
Hi. There's Linda.
Linda. There, you knew Linda was going to show up.
Of course. Oh, here's
geez. Here's the P already. Already.
Hi. I
don't think anybody wants to see that.
Put your booty down.
Yippee, I'm the king. Now, you know, Linda, that the P had to show up.
He's going to have his 5 minutes.
He does. Well, he gets more than 5 minutes of fame. He gets like the whole show of fame. Yeah, he's going to relax now. So far, Linda, you're on here. So we might as well just start. If people come in, they can rewatch it anyhow. So, but as you notice, we have not been on here for a while. And we are sorry about that, but we've been really, really, really busy. A lot of things going on. Before we start, there's a few things that we want to go over. And the first is two of our besties, Christina and Angelina. Christina, of course, just had her surgery. Angelina is having some health problems of her own. Our thoughts out to both of them for a fast and full recovery. We just had news that another friend is having health issues, and so big shout out to you, Miss Sandy. Hope that you recover soon and get on the path back to your old healthy self. With the updates with the jail, a lot of things going on. We are going to be in the future, we are going to be offering special rates for children 5 and under, for children 6 to 12, and then for groups. So there's going to be a lot of things price-wise that's going to change or be added. There's going to be referrals. There's going to be different things like that going on. We are planning a Halloween event, which for anybody that tunes in late, please watch from the beginning. There's going to be probably a big, on the last weekend of October, a sleepover event where you can rent out a cell for the night and sleep in the jail all night long. It's going to be a big mass. It's going to be a big mass group sleepover, so to say. So until we continue any further with anything, Gabriella will do her state fun laws, and then we will go into the topic at hand. But a lot of things going on. Just keep on tuning in. We will try to maybe re-show this, maybe pick some of it up on Lurking Spirits, or maybe tomorrow night we might be Lurking Spirits and do prison updates to tell everybody what changes are going on, what changes are planned.
This is the actual age of the age the person feels like.
Are you talking about going into the jail? its actual age. Right now we're looking at like 5 and under, which when you take real young kids like that in a jail to begin with, I don't know, we have to kind of watch what we talk about because you're talking about a prison. Not good things happen in a prison, so, but they will probably be admitted there free, and then 6 to 12 will have a special discount, and then everybody over 12 and up will be treated like an adult under adult prices. Oh, and the waiver thing, I will talk to you about that too. Bunch of different things going on. Hi, Michael. How you doing? Um, but yeah, there's going to be a lot of updates where we should have all the things out for the Halloween thing. We're going to be working on it by October 1st, so we make that announcement and work all of that stuff. But we'll discuss that a little bit further probably tomorrow night on our Lurking Spirits channel. We are trying to also set up an investigation for ourselves because we haven't done an investigation in a while. It's kind of hard to fit in an investigation, but we have to get something in there because we're lacking. So, okay, Gabriella, as everybody knows, we start out with our state fun facts. Come on, P. You see what he just did with his head? Like you cocky little thing, you cocky little thing.
Be squared.
Hey, B squared, how are ya?
We got the whole peoples up
They're
here.
coming. They missed us. They missed our chats. Whoop, whoop.
Okay, so to get started, I don't even know which. That one doesn't look familiar to me.
It doesn't look familiar to me. It's probably
so we're going to start out with this one. The first one is these are lays. Yeah,
are those the laws?
I think so. Or facts.
Oh, you're supposed to do laws. The fun laws. The crazy laws. And I don't know where you were at in that.
Probably
dumb laws. 50 there.
Yep, it was
yeah, that's it.
Vehicle.
Yep.
Bathtub.
Nope.
Sandwich shop. Whistle. Couch and porch.
We know we had that
Pickle.
one. I don't. Did we do that one?
Do that one. This is where we left off.
Okay.
Okay. These are fun, say laws, not facts, because I'm dumb.
But they're facts because they're their laws.
Well, yeah, they're facts about laws.
Exactly. So.
Anyways, number one, in Florida, legal parking fees towards animals must be paid.
Good, so don't park your animal.
So it says, according to Country Living, this law took effect in the 1920s when the Ringling Rose Circus. We did do that one.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, Gabriella.
I'm sorry.
We
did not do this one. This one does not look familiar at all. So scratch the first one. We're gonna do this one. Okay, this is the first one.
Tell we're rusty.
This is the first one. In Georgia, it's illegal to live on a boat for more than 30 days. It says, according to state law, it is prohibited to live on a boat for more than a month. They don't say why, they just say that it is.
They would probably consider it a permanent residence beyond that time, knowing the southern states.
The second one. In Hawaii, it is illegal to place a coin in one's ear. Apparently, this strange law was enacted to protect the Kingdom of Hawaii coinage when Hawaii officially joined the United States. Apparently, this strange law was enacted to protect the Kingdom of Hawaii coinage when Hawaii officially joined the United States in the 1900s.
So why would you put a coin in your ear anyhow?
Magic shows. They're like, ooh, look what I got.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
And
Are you going to pull a coin out of my ear?
I can't do that.
Why not?
Because I'm not magic.
You might be.
I don't have to possess.
You might have.
Or do you just have a quarter?
You have special talents. They all know that. You have very special talents.
Anyways, the third one is in Idaho, it's illegal to sweep debris into the streets.
That's a lot of places, though. Like here, they bone up if you freaking go over their sweeping.
Sense if it's like bigger things.
Yeah.
But if it's like grass or like, I don't know, leaves
Yeah,
or
they're
whatever.
taking the dirt up off the street every week. Twice a week.
Yeah, that is true. That truck comes by constantly.
Like a street's not supposed to get dirt. I don't know. That's just a little bit strange to me, but we live in a strange little town.
The fun facts.
It has strange little laws. Little laws.
Well, they facts, not laws.
You're going to join in today and give us your input too. So, as you seen the topic, maybe, hopefully, possibly.
You definitely did.
You did?
I just don't know where, but you did.
It's there.
It's there.
It's called Debunking the Debunkers. We've had enough. We've had enough. And the reason why we're saying that is, as an investigator, if you are a good professional investigator, everyone knows you go to your place that you're investigating. On this scene, you investigate, you try to debunk everything that you can. At last resort, you put a question mark there. You don't come right out and say, yeah, it's paranormal. You just question it. Then you go back home, and when you edit or look through your footage, you might even see right there face, hand. So you go through the footage and you say, hey, wait a minute. Okay, that's what caused that. So we can debunk that. That's what good investigators do. Common sense, we all know that. The problem we're having, and I've talked to since we started working at the jail, and we've had a lot of overnight groups, we've had a lot of paranormal investigators come in, and we're all having the same issue, and it's affecting people like us that truly go in and genuinely want to find something, and we possibly could have gotten something, but you get these big debunkers out there that, oh, I can explain that. Oh, this is what caused that. You're not there with us when we're seeing this. And the line I hate the most of all that I hear from them is, well, if you really want to believe that you saw that or that you caught that, then, just let them be. Because if they really believe that, no, it's not we really believe it. We were there. We know what we saw. We know what we heard. We know what we captured. And we know that we tried to debunk it every single way we could. Gabriella, you want to jump in at any time?
I'm going to call out a person because he's probably not going to see the video anyways. But Kenny Biddle, okay, I know people, they're like, he's such a great scientist. He might be.
He is.
But when it comes to debunking, you cannot take somebody's video that they have in a completely different place and try to do the exact same thing in your house and then debunk it in your house where the same setup wasn't there. You didn't see exactly what happened. You can recreate anything. Anybody can do that.
It's like I said with the temperature thermometer. You could put a thermometer in your mouth and say, I got a temperature, and I can debunk it. I can say, hey, no, you ran it under hot water or you put it under a lamp. That doesn't mean that you didn't actually have a temperature. I wasn't there when you put it in your mouth.
So I'm calling out Kenny Biddle because his debunking skills suck. unless you're at the place that you're trying to debunk, you cannot fully debunk it. You can say this might have happened, this could have been a possibility, but you can't fully say, "Oh yeah, I'm debunking that right now. This is exactly what happened." Full on debunked.
Well, here's the problem, like Gabriella's saying, when you go to school and you're in science class and you start learning about the scientific method, scientific method, you conduct your experiment and you come to a hypothesis. Now, there's a hypothesis that happens in a controlled scenario, and then there could be a different hypothesis outside of that controlled scenario. He's basing probably 90% of his hypothesis on controlled scenario in his office, in his surroundings, not being based on, he's not there with them. That would be like, I just recently caught over at the jail, I caught a phenomenal EVP. It's incredible. And tons of women screaming on it. Like, when you listen to it, you kind of almost feel that pain, that sorrow, that torture. Like, she's screaming. And at one point, it's like, and then you can almost hear, like, in the background, like a guy going, like he's laughing as he's torturing her or raping her or whatever is going on. We have that on an EVP. Kenny Biddle would take that in his office and he'd say, "Oh no, I can explain that sound. It wasn't a woman screaming." Or he would say, "Oh, that came from outside somewhere." This EVP recorder was in Smitty's cell, which is surrounded by concrete, iron bars. You're not hearing anything from the outside, and it's the same claims. When I talked to the warden that worked there for 17 years, they all said that that is a common thing to hear a woman screaming from the dungeon. That's commonplace. You hear that. We caught it on tape. And not only did we hear the screaming on there once, but it was almost like a replay, like she was reliving over and over what happened to her.
If you go back to our live that we did at the jail, I don't know if you can hear me say it or anything, but I look over at my brother, which is Tedrick, 85. I look over at him while we're both sitting on the ground. I was like, "Eric, do you hear those screaming?" And then he's like, "No, I don't hear any screaming." I was like, "I'm hearing like blood curdling screams. And he's like, "I'm not hearing that." The closer I got to the ground, the more loud and
Stop it.
and like not vivid, because that's something you see. How would you describe it?
What, the
The
screams?
louder, the more it was
More intense it was.
intense. The more intense the screaming was getting, the closer to the ground you would get. I would get. I thought it was coming from outside, and then I kept listening, and it was the same like pitch. It was the same tone and everything. I was like, okay, that is definitely not coming from outside. And I got close to the ground, and I kept on hearing it.
And like Eric said on there, Tedrick 85, he listened to the EVP. Gabriella listened to the EVP. And so did Abby and Chase, especially Abby. Who asked about what EVP? B squared. We got an EVP that I put in Smitty's cell the other day at the jail when we were there. And you can hear blood curdling screams coming from, we're thinking the dungeon area, and it made you, it almost made you feel like you wanted to cry because it was that sad, that horrible, and that disturbing. And then the fact that if you listen real closely, it almost sounds like a man with a gruffer voice, like like he was laughing about it in the background. And it was just real disturbing. Michael, I'm sure Kenny didn't mean anything negative. Now, Michael, it's not that we're thinking that Kenny's doing anything negative. Let's get right on the crack. We both respect Kenny 100%. He's phenomenal as far as a researcher and a debunker and a scientist. But all of his tons and tons and tons of documentation, almost all of it, or the majority of it, is things that he did from tapes that people were sending him or things that he was doing in his controlled area. Our problem is he's debunking flashlight method. He's debunking, he can give you an explanation for the REM pods. He can give you an explanation for any of the apps you use.
Basically, everything that any paranormal investigator uses,
He debunks.
He fully debunks. He's like, oh yeah, that's bullshit. You can totally.
And I'm frankly getting sick and tired of people debunking the flashlight method. You believe what you want, that's your opinion. I've talked to several paranormal groups, including ourselves, what we discovered, and there is no way on the face of this earth that they can say that it's the heat from your hand and you put it down and that thing inside that goes like this and that from contracting and expanding and all that's turning it on. You explain to me how you get a regular flashlight and you turn that end of it and loosen it up just so that if you barely tap it, it'll go on or off. You just have to barely tap it. You set it there and it's laying on a stand or on the floor or a bench. Max, shut up! Or a bench or something for hours and it's not doing anything. Then you start asking it questions. And if you focus in, you can see that beam of light turning one way for yes or the other way for no. And there's been times that we ask it questions and it'll say yes. It'll give us a yes and turn it on. And it turns it so tight that we literally have to get back up and loosen that flashlight again just so that it can be tapped to do an yes or no answer. You explain to me how that turned on its own. Nobody's walking by it. There's no movement. A breeze isn't going to turn it left and then right and then left and right. You explain that to me. You debunk that in and off. There's no way. And we had a lot of freaking different people that are paranormal explorers that bank and swear by that flashlight working for them with direct responses.
We have a funny story about Smitty in the jail and that flashlight. Do you want to tell them about
this the other day?
Yeah.
You can start with one part of it and I can go more.
So we were kind of just joking around. We wanted to see if there's any spirits in the warden's office with us while we were waiting for our guests to come in and do their tours. So while we were waiting, Mom's like, get the flashlight out. I want to do the flashlight method. And no, B squared, I heard the screaming on the live. I don't know if anybody else heard it or anything, but the screaming that Mom was talking about with the EVPs was a completely different type.
Yeah.
And that was on an EVP that she did in Smitty's cell. The live was when we first got the jail and we were allowed to investigate in there, and so we did. And I was sitting on the ground and Eric was sitting on the ground.
Oh, stop it! Sorry, guys.
I looked over at him and I was like, do you hear that screaming? He's like, no, I don't hear the screaming. I don't know what screaming you're talking about. It's like, Eric, I'm hearing blood curdling screaming. And ironically, the EVP that Mom did recently is the exact same screams that I heard that day.
Michael, no, I think everybody's paths are crossing. I don't think we know you didn't mean any offense and and we know Eric didn't mean any offense to you. We're just simply saying we have respect. Everybody here has 100% the utmost respect for Kenny Biddle. We are not bashing him, and we are not cutting him down, but he's cutting down. I mean, he's taken the debunking a bit too far. There's one thing being a scientist, and that is his job. That he is a researcher, and that is his job to try to debunk everything before he can prove anything as legit. The problem is he carries it too far by he debunks everything at point A, and he can't do that if he's not at point B with the people that saying, okay, I caught this, I caught that. I saw this with my own eyes work. I know this happened. And he gives a logical explanation for everything, which to him is logical, but he's not there when they're catching what they're catching. You can't debunk something if you're not in the same area with them. I mean, what if somebody actually catches something totally 100% concrete, and a group of people know they saw it, what happened, and yet he'll come in and he'll look at it in his lab or in his office, and he'll say, oh, I can give you a logical explanation.
With how well respected that he is, people will believe him instead of the people that actually did the investigation and caught the evidence.
I mean, I'm friends with some pretty good people in the paranormal, and they know that they've caught stuff. They're not saying, and we're not saying that it's paranormal, but they put a question mark by it like we do. But because of some of the stuff that he's saying, now they're doubting their own evidence that they caught because he debunked it in his office. That's what we're trying to say. And Beardo's a jerk. I'm sorry. You can like Beardo all you want. That guy is a jerk because he'll tell everybody, you can't run away from this. You can't do that. But the guy won't get up off of his butt and go check out anything himself. And he debunks anything before he even knows what's going on. And he's out right now for views. I'm sorry, money. And he brought that up on one of his shows too about, you're talking about this and you don't have that many views, but look how many views I got at it. So it went to his head. So I just, at one time I respected Beardo, but the more I watched him, the more he became, he's not credible.
This is all our opinions. So, like, this is Real Talk with Diana Gabriella. We're just saying what's on our mind. We're not trying to be disrespectful in any way. We're just saying what we think and how we feel.
And it's sad because we watched Beardo, we watched Mythos, we watched Kenny Biddle. Out of the three of them, I'm going to say I give Kenny Biddle the most respect out of all three of them because he does have tons and tons and tons and tons of documentation. But then again, when he's in his lab or his office debunking, that's one thing. But that's, again, when you do scientific method, there's hypothesis according to a controlled situation, and there's outside of that. He's looking mainly at the controlled. You can't debunk something if you're not there with the people when they're actually experiencing. And the whole flashlight thing really rubs us the wrong way because we know, and several other, they're the same way. Matter of fact, his name has been brought up by at least, out of the ones that we just had over at the jail, probably almost every single one of them uses the flashlight, and they said they can verify the same exact thing, that flashlight did exact responses, and they did not touch it, it did not do anything for hours, and all of a sudden when they started asking the questions, it would come on, it would come off right in direct response to those questions. Yeah. And if you want to go into them, let me see. Yeah, I totally understand. I asked him about spook lights, and he said they were reflections. Yeah, you see,
but there weren't any reflective surfaces.
No, and see, Michael, that's what we're talking about. He debunks, okay, all these people are coming up and making all this paranormal equipment for a reason, so somebody can capture evidence or try to prove that the afterlife exists, to try to talk to spirits, whatever. But he debunks everything. So why are they even making this equipment? And there's one guy, I really don't want to mention a name because he's a good friend of mine, but he really ticked me off over everybody. And it's not Beardo, it's not Mythos, it's somebody else. But this guy comes on and he goes, oh, you know what? I don't believe in demonology, but I saw a demon. Oh, I don't want any of the equipment, but I'm making my own VP machine. I'm making my own um, spirit box. I don't believe in this and that. There's no such thing as an exorcism. It's just all in people's minds. But I attended an exorcism and I was participated in one. So, like, he debunked everybody else's, but except for when it involved him.
He contradicted himself
every single time. And that's what really is burning our butts, that people like that, they debunk what everybody else sees, but except for when it happened to them. There's no such thing as ghosts and spirits and that, but when I was a child, I encountered one. So wait a minute, you're just telling everybody there's no such thing, but you encountered one when you were a child. So everybody else is nuts, but you happen to see one. You can't do that. I'm sorry, folks, but you happen to see one. You can't do that. I'm sorry, folks. You can't do that. And that's why we're making this video today.
Why the debunking community? You can debunk as long as you have proof that that's what might have happened in that controlled area. If you're doing it in your own controlled area with completely different lighting, completely different setup, completely different furniture and everything else, you cannot sit there and say, I can debunk this because I recreated it.
I mean, so any one of you can send me a video that you recorded, and you might have captured something. But we could sit here and watch, oh, yeah, there's a car that drove by. That car said, oh, no, there's a bird flew by the window and it cast that shadow. No, there was a light outside. Somebody outside had a flashlight. Oh, there was people outside talking. It's easy to debunk it when somebody sends you a video or when you're doing your surrounding. I was not there with them, though, when they captured what they captured. It's like the stuff that we're capturing over the jail right now, my EVP. We know what's on that EVP, but I can guarantee if I sent it to Kenny Biddle, he would say that he could give a logical reason for all of it. I can guarantee you he'd debunk it, or Mythos would, or Beardo.
I just noticed your shirt.
I'm going to throat punch it. It's a throat punch kind of day. And is appropriate for this subject tonight. So, but you know, we can't prove, but that doesn't debunk that they happen. See, and B squared, that's it. That's my point exactly. I don't care if others believe it as long as I know it. And that's just it. Don't debunk until as you can disprove this. You weren't there with us. You don't know what we experienced when we was there. One of the areas there was no windows anywhere around. He's against night vision. Oh, night vision is evil. We can explain night vision because that little IR light that's in it when you move, it can cast a shadow in a certain way. While if nobody's moving and you're standing stationary and a shadow moves, how can you say that even the night vision has that shadow? If you actually see a shadow move, he would debunk that because he doesn't like night vision. But you saw a shadow move. Like,
yeah,
I really hate, because I genuinely respect the guy. I do. Now, I will say him, like the other two, I'm sorry, they're out for views, they're out for monetary. They both have already said, hey, I've got this many views and you don't. And they brought that point up on their videos. And I'm sorry, I I don't even know if I can respect them at this point. But Kenny Biddle, I do. So, if Kenny, if you would happen to hear this, I respect you, buddy. I do.
We're just calling you out for the debunking.
You just can't debunk everything.
How you can say that the thing that is sent to you is debunked if you're not in the same place as that person was.
And everybody's getting upset by it. How many groups have we talked to recently? And when we said we were thinking about doing a Debunking the Debunkers video, and they said, go for it because this needs to be said because we know what we caught. We're not saying it's paranormal, but we know we caught something we cannot explain. And yet they will watch it and say, oh, we can explain that for you. And that's why we wanted to do this, because it's really, when you have a name like Kenny Biddle or like Beardo or like Mythos or like any of them like that, you can go out and say anything because you already gained respect of all of your followers. But what you're doing is you're hurting all of these groups that's lesser known, like ours. And some of, I want to mention their name because I want to bring them into it, but some of the fantastic new people that we just met that are through the roof awesome. They are genuine. They're great paranormal investigators. They do it from the heart. They genuinely go out purposely to try to find evidence, and they're getting tired. We can debunk this. We can debunk that. Oh, they caught something. And not one of them said, yeah, it's paranormal. No, not one of them said that. But they said, we caught something and we tried everything in our power to debunk it and we can't. So we're proud. And they should be. And it's getting very, 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 very old. It makes you wonder what the point of doing paranormal investigating is if these debunkers can be so dismissive of any evidence. That's exactly right, Eric. I mean, that it's just everything that is shown to them, they magically have an evidence. But the funny thing about it is some of them themselves said they caught stuff. And that's okay because they caught it and they used the same equipment. Some of this, you have to have an EVP recorder or a camera or one of the other pieces of equipment. But yet they use it and they can call it legit, but everybody else uses it and they can find a way to debunk it. It's getting very, very old. Hi, Abs.
Hi, Abby.
So it's just getting really, really old, and we had to call it out because, anybody that knows Linda's on here, Abby, Eric, B Squared, everybody that's on here tonight, you know how passionate we are about what we do. And when we go in and we tell you we caught something, we can't explain it, and we tried every way we could to debunk it, we're not shitting you. And it's not what we want to believe. It's what we know we caught, like the EVP with the screaming on it. And we know darn well he would debunk it. We know he would debunk it. I think that bugs me is what you said earlier. The evidence they catch, they don't go out of their way.
Michael, I know you're speaking Josh or Parasola to tell y'all hello when he went to the jail, but knowing him for sure, he forgot.
No, they said hello. Parasola they were very, very, very nice. Matter of fact, they were there the other night, and some of the people that were there that was on the overnight left a little bit earlier, and I can't blame them because we really didn't have any power in the building at that time. And almost every single one of the groups, when they went into the building, within a couple hours, their batteries was completely going dead. Like the one group, they went through 4 brand new batteries, and I think they said just 2 hours a time. So they had to cut their investigation real short because we didn't have power. Another one, luckily they had a lot of batteries with them, but they were going batteries after battery after battery after battery. And even when we do our flashlight tours, there was an incident. There was a guy, we were walking down into the basement, and my light was flickering. And I said, I think my battery's getting ready to go dead. He says, yeah, I noticed that. Well, we went down from there into the dungeon, and his camera started flickering. He said, "This is weird because this is a brand new battery, but it's looking like it's going to go dead." And as his started getting dimmer, my flashlight started getting brighter. So he laughed because it was almost like my flashlight was sucking the life out of his camera battery. And ironically, the same gentleman, when he went home and edited each one of his videos, he filmed the whole time he was doing his tour. But when he went home and edited, he said there was at least 6 different times that his camera, there was spaces where it just totally blacked out. It totally turned off. And he can't explain it. He said, because I saw his light on his camera flickering, that it was on recording the whole time. But yet there was like 6 different times that it totally. So he came in a second time and did another tour, and he went home. He said it happened again the second time he went home.
Well, and we've had people talk about how they do EVP sessions and it only records like half, and then the rest of it just stops recording, or it'll record and then it'll stop and then it'll record again. So a lot of technical issues.
Oh, I'm sorry, Michael. No, we didn't really get a chance to talk too much because by the time they got there, I was in the middle of, I was just finishing up a flashlight tour. And so they were waiting so that they can go in and start their investigation. So it was more enough for them to come in, sign their waivers and everything, and get their equipment up and that. So I'm sure that he meant to say that you was saying hi to us, and it was just kind of boom, 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 and we didn't want to waste any of their time. So I'm sure they would have meant to say that, hey, Michael said hi, and but hi.
Hi from us.
Hi from us to you, yeah. So, but as Gabriella was saying, we did have some incidents already with the tours. Gabriella can start, which she started before with the flashlight thing.
With Smitty's titties.
Well, okay. So, well, we'll do a couple. Well, I can start. You can butt in. Please butt in at any time, and you don't need to say, "I'm sorry." No, just butt in. When Damien and Jennifer, for any of you that watched our Lurking Spirits live interviewing Jennifer, Damien was in Smitty's cell and he was doing the Estes method. And for some reason, all of a sudden he yelled out, "Titties." And Jennifer laughed. They didn't know why titties. Of course, Jill, that would be common probably for somebody in jail to yell out titties because they wouldn't have seen them. But anyhow, so one day we were sitting there and we were a little bit bored in the warden's office, and we decided, okay, let's try to see if anybody's here with us today. So we got the flashlight out, we unscrewed the thing to where we just touch it. We set it down, we let it sit there. We're talking and everything. And then finally I said, is there anybody here with us? And the light comes on, and so does our EMF detector. It starts fluctuating. It clear up to red.
Yep.
And was this a warden? No respawn. Was this a guard? No respawn. Was this an inmate? Light comes on. Is this a certain inmate? Is this old Smitty? Light comes on. If this is old Smitty, can you turn that light back off? Light turn back off. So we're getting complete responses, and we said, well, Smitty,
we're very goofy that day. We're just kind of whipping around with the spirits and joking around with each other.
We were, and I said, Smitty, do you like titties? Because of what Damien and Jennifer caught. And Smitty, the light, not only did it come on, but it come on real bright, and then it kind of dimmed down with her. So, oh, you do like titties, and bright again, dim down with her. Okay, can you turn that off then, Smitty? Turns it off. I go, Smitty, do you want me to go down in the dungeon and show you my titties? Light comes back on. And we kept on doing that. And then I said, well, what time do you want me to go down? And we were playing with different times on the clock. And I said, 5:03. And the light come on. So I was supposed to have a date showing my titties to old Smitty down in the dungeon. But it gets better because her boyfriend, do you want to see Dylan's titties? Smitty's light come right back on. And then well, what is it about Dylan that you like? Does he put you in mind of your wife? And it came back. It's like we had a very good time with the flashlight. But again, when we stopped asking it questions, it did not flicker. It did not come on. It did not come off. It stayed off until we started asking questions again. And just like that, it came on. So please, you tell me that you can debunk that.
We really should have recorded it, but we were so goofy.
Yeah, we didn't expect that. We didn't expect it either.
And we were kind of like in shock. We were like, whoa, this is crazy. This is so freaking cool. And we were just kind of goofing around.
But that leads to another thing that happened. There was a group that we took. There was a group, and I think there was 4 others. Because I had 2 groups that was together for a flashlight tour. And there was a couple, they brought their father in by surprise because he wanted to see the jail. So they set up the tour and brought him in by surprise. Well, we're doing the tour and we're in the second tier of the old stone jail part. And he walks in this room. He has his flashlight in hand. He's not touching it. He's just like, here's the buttons and that. And he's like literally touching it like that. So there's no buttons or anything. And he walks in the one cell. He walks in the one cell. His flashlight goes off. He walks out. His flashlight comes back on. He walks back in. Now, we didn't know this was happening. We did not know this. He told us a couple minutes later, he says, hey, I walk in there, my flashlight turns off, I come out, it turns on, and then he started showing us. And then at one point, he stood in the archway of the cell, and he just did this with his arm. He put his arm in, off, out, on, in, out, on. He kept on doing that, and where they're like, and he's saying, look, I'm not touching buttons or anything. So one of the girls in the group, she went over to the cell and she said, let me see if that works for me, if it's going to do it for me. She walks in, her flashlight does nothing. It was just his flashlight. So we go down into the basement part for the flashlight tour. We said we're going to have Smitty Titty Committee. So because Smitty likes titties. But we go down to the basement, the same group, and I'm giving my explanation of everything that was going down in the basement. And his flashlight, no problems. It stayed on the whole time. And at one point I said, he brought up, have you had any experiences yourself, Diane? Could you tell me anything? And I started telling them. And then I mentioned Smitty because I'm an EVP in that. And as soon as I mentioned Smitty's name, his flashlight turned off and turned on. I said, well, Smitty seems to have this crush on me. And as soon as I said that, his flashlight flickered on and off again. And they looked at me and he says, look, I'm not touching any buttons. And it stayed on. And I said, watch. I said, Smitty likes me. No sooner I said Smitty and likes me, his flashlight flickered on and off again. And they looked at each other. They're like, okay. And I said, Smitty he wants to see my titties. And they howled and the flashlight flickered on and off again. And we walked out of there. I stopped talking about Smitty. His flashlight stayed on. We went up. We did more of the tour. And it didn't flicker or anything. So again, tell me that the flashlight method does not work. It's crazy, but it was hilarious. Can we call that Smitty Titty Committee? We have the Smitty Titty Committee, and we were talking to Damien and Jennifer, and we're thinking of having a show Smitty the Titty Night, and having all the girls go down to the dungeon so we can group flash Smitty the Titties. So it was pretty cool. So
I will not be a part of it.
But yeah, we've had a lot. I mean, we've had experiences in that jail, and going back to the debunking, like now we're telling you this whole thing that we had witnesses there. All of us had seen this happening. The same as Darcy saying, about the apparition he saw up in the catwalk, and there was his brother and 5 other guards that saw the same thing, but yet you would have them coming on and saying, oh no, we can give you a logical explanation. And it's not right. It's just, a lot of us, we're passionate about what we do. And the very first thing we do when we do an investigation is we try to debunk everything. You're not a good investigator if you don't.
Sometimes we'll rewatch our old videos and we'll be like, well, that might have happened, but we don't know for sure because we weren't there again. We were there once, but unless you can recreate that same thing that happened at the same place.
Well, and that's the same as one of the groups that came in here recently. They just did a flashlight tour, but I guess they're going to come back and they're going to do an investigation.
Looking ears on to myself.
And they're going to come back in and do an investigation. And they were talking about abandoned places and haunted places. Like, we hate to when somebody goes to a location and they say, okay, that's bogus. They're doing it all for show because we didn't catch anything. That doesn't mean everything. Then that doesn't, just because you go there on the first time and not catch anything, that doesn't mean you won't go back there again. And you might get a ton of activity. You're not going to get the same activity every time you go to a place unless there's a lot of residual hauntings. So now a residual, you'd have to pretty much it would be like the same time usually of the day or night. And that would make sense. But I could go to the jail and investigate and not catch anything, but then I can go there the day after that and go to the exact same place and I could catch maybe a lot of activity. You're not guaranteed to get activity every time you go somewhere, so you can't automatically come out too and say, well, hey, that place is bogus. They're full of shit. There nothing's happening there. It's not haunted. Doesn't mean anything. Our boss, the guy that owns it, he was telling me today, he said he's not had any personal experiences and he stayed there and that he hasn't really, but he said there's times that he'll be sitting in the warden's office and he's in the building all by himself. And he said just for no reason, he'll get goosebumps all over him and the hairs on his arm will stick up and he just gets like a weird feeling about it. So he might not have seen anything or heard anything, but he's feeling that because I told him about a couple of different people already that for no reason just broke down and cried when they were over there and they had no explanation for it. So it's just like, again, getting back to the beginning, we're not trying, especially Kenny Biddle. Kenny, if you are listening or if somebody does say we mention you, we're not trying to bash you and disrespect you or diss you in any way. It's just that your debunking abilities are phenomenal and you got your documentation to prove it. You are awesome in that way. But when you carry it outside and go by what you're getting in your office from videos that people sending to you or sound clips. Now, pictures you can debunk because they can take it to special photographers and stuff and that can say, hey, this was a double exposure or this was what caused that. It was a reflection from something that you can clearly see had nothing to do with paranormal or anything. I can understand that to a point. But when you're not there and you don't see, you're in a room, there's no windows, there's no way car lights are going by or a reflection of any kind can go by, and you've seen something, he can't sit in his office and say, hey, I can debunk that, because you can't, you weren't there. That's our whole point of this whole video, and it's not out of disrespect to anybody. It's just, we just want to say it needs to tone down. I think not stop, but it needs to tone down because every piece of equipment that is coming out that people use, and every piece of evidence that people catch should not be debunked automatically.
These are debunked now. Or not EVPs. EVP recorders are debunked now. EMFs are debunked now. Flashlight method is debunked now.
Well, and even the phone apps. We don't bank on them. We don't live by them, but we have used Necrometer and we've used Spirit Talker. And point blank, now people say, oh, you don't get the same thing twice, or you don't get the same thing more than twice. Yes, you do. We've already used Spirit Talker and Necrometer, and we got the exact response at least 2, 3, sometimes 3, sometimes 4 times, and it all correlated with what we were doing. The other day, we've no sooner turned it on, the first word came out of it was prison, and we went in the jail. And other things that came out corresponded exactly to what our topic was. And it only come out once, but it come out a couple different times, the same exact answer. So how can you totally debunk the apps? Again, we're not saying that we live and breathe by them, but they can be reliable. You can use those apps and they can work. So, oh, and Kiwi, Linda, that you do have a good point. If you don't come up with 100% activity, some people think you're fake investigators. It goes both ways. If you don't come up with 100% activity, they think you're fake. Or if you come up with a lot of activity and you know what's going on, they call you fake. So it's like a lot of times you can't win. You know what you're doing when you're going in there. You know you're doing it with passion. And there's always going to be some people that's going to come on and they're going to call you fake investigators no matter what. But we know how we are. Some of these fantastic new people we met recently, 27 Spirits, we met Parasolo, we met Dark Hollow Paranormal. What other ones have we met? I'm sorry, folks, if we're forgetting some of you and your names.
We have a lot of people.
There's been so many that comes in, and no disrespect to any of them for excluding you. It's just I pretty much work 24 hours a day scheduling, and we're having problems with our scheduler and just working on a lot of glitches and everything. But we've met all these phenomenal people that have the same passion we do, and they're getting tired of everything they do. Somebody somewhere is coming out and calling them fake, or saying, oh, we can debunk what you caught. It's just getting ridiculous because these people are genuinely the most awesome people we've ever met. I mean, that's what we love about this new position we got, because we're meeting more and more amazing people. And it's truly, it's just overwhelming that it makes our exciting job even more exciting. So, and then we get some people come in and they're coming in to waste their money in space, I guess. Because they'll come in and they'll look around and they'll kind of like, they don't want to interact with the tour guides.
They won't be interactive. They just don't. It seems like they just don't care, but
you're paying for a tour. Now, mind you, guys,
we've only had like maybe two
people, yeah, two groups.
Two groups like that, yeah.
Now, mind you, we give guided tours. There's a guided daylight tour, which is in the morning, up to about 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. Once the time changes, it'll probably be closer to 3 when those are on. But then there's a flashlight tour that lasts all day long, because the flashlight tour includes everything what the daylight does, but also the basement and the dungeon. But you get people coming in and we tell them, they're like, okay, you're on a guided tour. We're going to give you a lot of information and history of the building. and we just want you to respect us and stay with us. Don't be wandering off. And it's because of for your own safety, because there are parts in the building yet that you have to be careful in. And they try to go wandering off. And then when, like the other night, Gabriella told a group, please stay here. And they kind of like gave her like eyes, like she said something horrible.
Maybe seen me behind my back, and they're like, oh my god, we are our group, when they clearly weren't. And it's not like I was like, guys, get back in your group now, or anything.
Yeah, we wouldn't do anything.
I was like, guys, I'm not trying to be rude or anything. I'm not trying to be a party pooper, but I do need you guys to stick together because this is a guided tour. And that's exactly how I said it.
And it's for safety reasons.
Yeah.
It's for safety.
And they would not listen. And then when they finally did, they gave me attitude.
Come on, Pee-wee. I wish debunking equipment people would list the problems so they can be addressed. So the part that really is paranormal isn't lost. Well, I mean, Linda, you do get some some of the equipment is faulty. I mean, I know the older REM pods, antenna was on them. They kind of had glitches and that in them. So sometimes it would go off and you didn't know if it was actually because something went by it or if it was because of that antenna. So there are glitches with some of the equipment, but more and more of these people are coming out and improving on these pieces of equipment and that specifically so that when the investigators go in there, they have reliable equipment to work on. But I mean, you're getting these people that are debunking night vision. They're debunking anything you catch on camera. They're debunking the reason why your batteries. They said a spirit can't pull energy out of anything. Where are you guys getting that? It'll pull energy out of something. Well, how else are you explaining the draining of the batteries or a camera going completely dead? That's called draining the energy.
My internet keeps going in and out. We'll see something pop up on the screen like, please reconnect to, but it just goes in and out and I can't figure out.
But Abby's on the same internet, or no, I don't know if she's on the same with us too. So hers, because of ours going out, hers is anybody else having problems with theirs cutting out a lot or just only a few times? Okay, Abby's on hotspot, so I don't know. I'm okay. Do we have anything else? Nothing.
Actually, he had to reload a few times too, so I think it's our internet.
Yeah, it's our internet. Our internet is not all that reliable. So
our faux freaking internet.
our faux freaking internet. You can tell it's been a while since we've been on. Like I said, stay tuned for tomorrow night. We're probably going to go on. Abby, I'll talk to you in the morning, and we will discuss. We go on live on Lurking Spirits tomorrow. We don't have definites yet, but there was a lot discussed that's going to be happening. So we will be able to talk that on Lurking Spirits tomorrow, make a little bit of announcements and say upcoming, but we can't give specific dates or amounts and stuff like that yet, but we can at least give
we are people.
Yeah. So but does anybody on here have any questions for us or make your comment? We'll read it. We'll read it out on our, we'll call it out. Yeah, it's
no, I want to.
I booted myself on chat, but for a couple, yeah. See, ours is just, it flickers off and it'll say you lost your internet connection. And then as quick as it flicks off, it'll come back on.
That's mostly just my.
Pee-wee's always a ham, Eric, and he's just like, I think he missed Gabriella. I think he missed Linda. And he just, of course, he has to be an attention butt today. Let's get back to the right at the before we started our topic too. Some of our friends right now are going through some really rough times. Can't get into really big details, but I want everybody here tonight, anybody that tunes in later, please put some comments and get well soon wishes out to some people that we really, really care about. Christina from Bad to the Bone, as you know, just went through a surgery. So she is recovering from her surgery, doing well. Angelina's having some health problems. Um, she's doing better, but please wish her well. Give them big group hugs, whatever it takes. Send them all good vibes that they get back on their feet here soon. And also our dear friend Sandy, Conscious Muse. She's having some health issues right now too. So 3 people that we really, really care about a lot are going through some bad health problems. I wouldn't say bad, but
Okay.
yeah, they're on the recovery right now, but it's just it's a lot for everybody to deal with. With Christina and Angelina, 2 people in one household at one time, one coming out of surgery and one having health issues. Of course, we want to extend all of our love and quick, speedy recovery to both of them. And Sandy, we know we haven't heard from her for a little bit, and we just found out it was because she was having some health issues too. And I don't want to go into detail what was going on. Uh, it's just the fact that they could use all of our love, all of our support, all of our, hey, prayers for speedy recovery, whatever your beliefs are, send it their way. They could really use it. Um, they they know that everybody here is on their side and they support them. So I just wanted to make a point of bringing that out because and they've been a part of this community with us both on our channel here and on the Lurking Spirits community. So um, group hugs, group speedy recovery, and everything sent to them on their way so that they get back on their feet real quick. Pee Wee, right?
Debunking be broken down with new words.
And that's just, I agree with that. Linda, should debunking be broken down with new words? I hate the word debunking, I do. And even how can I say, even when you say you caught something, a lot of people come out and say, yeah, it's paranormal. I don't even like using that word a lot because we don't know. We don't know if it's paranormal. We do say it's something we can't explain.
It's unexplainable.
And everything that we've tested, we can't find a logical explanation for why we caught it or why we saw it or why we heard it. And I think that is how the debunking community should go. Instead of using debunking, they should say, well, we can say that it could have possibly been this that caused it, but don't automatically say, yeah, debunked, and then put that big exclamation point there. No, you didn't debunk it. You weren't there. And Linda, you were right. And Angelina's aunt has been in and out of the hospital. So to everybody, that family there, I'm telling you what, it's just the whole family right now has been out, and really that, they really need, yes, prayers and speedy recovery, best wishes, whatever you want to send their way. They could use it right now. Enough is enough with them already. Please let them all recover real quick.
Pee Wee is giving me Guardians of the Galaxy rules. How is Pee Wee? Isn't debunking often just an alternate theory?
It is an alternate theory, but B squared, the thing is, and the magical word that you said there is theory. They're The debunking community that we're talking about, though, is they're kind of not even using the word theory with it. They're kind of almost saying debunked. They're almost saying
Like
it's proof. We can prove that this didn't happen. This is a logical explanation, and that's where they're carrying it too far. If they use the word that this is our theory of what, we can live with that. We can live with that. But when they say debunked and say we can prove that this is why that happened, that's where Linda, I love when she said, shouldn't they use a different word than debunking? Yes, they should, because debunking more or less is like, okay, it's a fact. We proved, no, that's what happened. And that's not the case. So
really knows we don't want to put him. He's teasing us.
he is, and he did stretch that back foot out.
He did have that sexy
Yes,
leg.
he did. He stretched it out and he said, look, folks, this is how cute I look tonight. So, but yeah, Linda hit a ton of valid points. Michael, I appreciate his input when he came on, and I agree with him. I mean, he wasn't trying to be offensive, and we weren't, but we both had valid points. I just, I feel kind of bad because he said he is good friends with Kenny Biddle and Beardo, and that's fine. We're not, I respect Kenny Biddle, I do. Beardo now, on the other hand, I did respect him.
Up until recently.
Up until recently, yep. It turned into
it's like thirsty for views. And
he became kind of nauseating, like it was all about how many views he could get. And he didn't even try to be legit anymore, and he kind of didn't hide it. So I don't know. Eric says, I don't think some debunkers understand it goes both ways. Something may not be 100% proof it's paranormal, but at the same time, you can't say it's 100% not paranormal. And that's exactly the whole point. And not one of us ever come out. And again, I don't know of any one of us that said, yeah, it's paranormal. We're coming out, we're saying, question mark, like we can't explain it. We don't know. We're not,
Yeah, like that's strange. We tried to figure out what it could be.
We have no explanation. Yep. So it's just, I agree with Linda's comment 150%. The word debunking needs to go. It needs to go. They can use the word our theory. Our research is saying that this could possibly be what happened, but don't come out and say debunked, because that's not a good word. And if you're not there with the person when they're investigating and catching the things they're catching, you have no right to step in and say, I can debunk that. You have no right to say that. Mm-hmm. I would not do that to anybody else. I wouldn't want them to do that to me. So 100% agree. Michael did have, that's what I said, Linda. Michael had some very good points. And, I hope, because I don't see him on here now, I hope he didn't get offended by anything, especially considering that he is friends with Kenny Biddle and Beardo. Again, I respect Kenny to the utmost, but Beardo, I kind of lost respect for him because I think he forgot what he initially went in the game all about. Like he forgot where he started, and it all became, how many views can I get? How many subscribers can I get? As you look at ours, I think we still only have like 121 subscribers. And we don't give a shit. If we don't get another subscriber.
I think it's 130 something.
Oh, is it now?
I think so. Because when I went to check, well, I didn't check, but when I went to change the switch over.
But we don't care though either. You know, we really don't.
We don't, but we do appreciate.
Yeah, we do. Oh, absolutely. I mean, if you want to subscribe, we're not going to say don't subscribe, but it's not like we're saying, okay, when we reach 1 million subscribers, you know, like on Lurking Spirits, we reach 450 subscribers. We're going to give out a spirit box. Chase is giving one away. It doesn't mean that we are out for just specifically for subscribers. We're just trying to have everybody join in so they could understand more about us and what we do. It's not about how many views, how many subscribers we get. And plus,
said that from day one.
Yeah, and plus the fact on there now too, we are promoting the jail, getting people. We want people to come over and that they know that the jail is open and they can come and investigate or get a good tour over there. So far, everybody that's been in there has given wonderful reviews.
Said they'd definitely come back.
Yep.
So
we're doing good.
Hey, Mom and Gabrielle, I'm going to bed. I can't keep my eyes open. The cleaning got me tuckered out. Love you guys. Hope you sleep well. Good night.
Good night. Good night.
That's just not a number. That's exactly right. Which I believe that some YouTubers forget that, and that's all that they want is for the people to subscribe. That way they can have all the views and all the subscribers and all the likes and comments that they feel like they need.
And that's not what it's supposed to be about. You know, yeah, I mean, would Gabriella and I like to have on our channel 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 subscribers? Hell yeah. Do we, as long as you're tuning in each time and watching, we like to see the likes on there. We like to see people tuning in. We like the fact that people come in and they enjoy the content that that we are providing and content that we are providing and that you know, yeah, well, I'm a little bit woozy too. I had a long day. But you know, we appreciate too a lot of, like, there's people that were Michael, he comes on regularly, Be Squared, we love you. Of course, Eric and Abby coming on, and you know, like I said, Linda, the people that come on regularly, you're faithful to us. You know, you're talking about a handful, maybe 10 people that, like clockwork, they wait and they know we're on, they come on. We appreciate that. So, you know, and that's what it's all about. We enjoy doing this. We enjoy giving out content.
We got our loyal people.
We do. And like Linda was kind of helpful with this topic tonight. And Linda was helpful with our topic tonight. She agreed that it's something that we probably should discuss. So we like that too. You know, if you enjoy what we're doing, subscribe. No, seriously, if you enjoy what we're doing, put in our comment section, hey, you know, I like this topic. Next week or the next time you come on, can you maybe discuss this? This is something that means a lot to me, and I think I would like to hear your view on it. Now, the only things we will not cover is politics and religion. We won't cover those two topics because there's so much
religion and like the LGBT.
Yeah, we won't. That should be, it's same as when you walk into a business. We had a gentleman that walked into the jail. I think it was our first week or second week we're open, and he started talking politics. Didn't say anything, just let him rant. But there's no place in a business for any of those. You don't go into a business, you should not talk politics. You should not talk religion. You should not talk about the LGBT community. That you don't need to talk about that. That's not going to change anything by going in and discussing it. It's just going to cause more division and more problems, and we don't need that. I think a lot of you, if you follow us, you probably know where we stand on a lot of stuff, but channels. Hell no, that's, that, yeah. So just be respectful that way. And we had a topic one time before, please do not come on. Please do not bash. Please do not body shame. Please do not disrespect us or our channel in any way, because as Gabriella stated several times, this is our channel. This is our opinion. This is our format. We respect you. Please respect us.
Yeah, we created this channel so you guys know where we're coming from on various topics.
And we're going to keep it that way.
Yep.
And we would really appreciate if you type in or go on Facebook, look us up, send us a private message, say, hey, this topic here is very dear to me. Do you think you can talk about it on your next live or, whatever? And we'll do our best to try to discuss something that we think that we can cover if it's not going to offend anybody, because we really don't want to offend anybody. And again, to Kenny Biddle, if you do happen to, somebody says, maybe Mike will run back and tell them that we were talking about him, which is okay.
We're not hiding.
We're not, it just is bothersome, and we're not the only ones that brought his name up and how he's handling the whole, I hate that word, like Linda said, I hate the debunking thing, but that whole debunking community, it's really hurting the smaller groups out there, because if we even had a chance to go somewhere with our channels, it's not going to happen when you have somebody like that saying, oh, that flashlight, why do they use that? Just debunking everything. And I truly, truly, truly hate when people say, well, if they want to believe that works, well, then let them believe it. No, it's not what we believe. It's what we know. We're not saying, we're not believing it. We know what we're saying or what we're hearing. So you can't get rid of me, even though Gabby has tried. B Squared, you're awesome too. A lot of things that you've said, we agree 100% with you. Negativity on YouTube is growing. There's one channel that we were watching avidly. We really enjoyed watching this one particular channel, and I'm not mentioning any names because I would not do that. Even if I unfriended somebody, I would not bash them. But this one person comes on, and every time this person comes on, the negativity and the content on that channel is just horrible. And the stuff that comes out of that person's mouth and the fighting and the ugliness, I'm really surprised YouTube hasn't kicked that person off, to be honest with you, because it's just that ugly. And it's bad. It's bad. It's like every time that person comes on, it's just nothing but negativity and ugliness.
Too. It's not just like, oh, you little bitch. No, it's like,
yeah, it is. It's bad. Really bad. And there's really no place in that, because YouTube and Facebook and some of the other, Instagram, a lot of them has given this wonderful format here for people to come out and do things like this, and to be able to be flicking through channels and seeing that type of content coming on and that kind of nastiness. It's just, I don't care if, like I said, if I unfriend you for whatever reason, I am not going to go on and I'm not going to get ugly against you. I'm just going to let it go.
It's like at the point of where it's like childish, like
high school drama. Yeah. And there's no place for it. There's no place for it on YouTube, and there's no place for it anywhere. You see enough ugliness in the world as it is. We don't need that kind of format on. Even if, like I said, even if you unfriend somebody, or you came on some kind of a disagreement and your friendship broke up, there's no reason to go on and bash and cause more ugliness. Just let it end. Just let it go. You know.
The worst part is, instead of this person, like, letting the people that might have backstabbed them alone just to deal with their own things, or, you know, talk about it in private or whatever, they call them out. That way the people that's on that person's side will come after that person.
It's ugly. It's ugly.
So,
I mean, this person actually had a pretty decent personality. Probably, I've never met this person. We almost did at one time. Probably a genuinely nice person, but the way they're coming across and portraying themselves, and I don't know even if I had a chance if I would want to meet that person now.
From the things that we've heard and from the things that we've seen with our own eyes, I don't think
it just got real. Because the bad thing is, if just say some chance you say, okay, I don't want to be friends, then we know we would be the target, the next target.
Yeah.
Or could be spying or whatever the case may be, and it's just that ugliness. I'm telling you, there's no place for that ugliness. So, be squared. You don't use Facebook. I don't blame you, really, because I mean, how about this? I get Facebook. I've been thrown in Facebook jail. I don't know how many times. I'm a jail Facebook inmate. It doesn't seem to matter what I say. I literally will get a picture that somebody shared or posted, and I'll like, and it could be of an animal, a cute animal, and I will repost it. These standards, because I was trying to solicit votes or views. I entered a contest on there one time, which I'm on another contest on there again. But I was on a contest on there, and Facebook removed my post saying I went against community standards because I was trying to solicit votes. Well, isn't that what a contest is? Their format is what they were using for this contest, and yet they removed my post because I was soliciting votes. And I had to contact the contact people and say, hey, I'm kind of an unfair disadvantage because they took my contest off because they're saying it's going against your community standards. So I can't win on Facebook. Fishes fly till the world dies. Who is that? You know? You two just be chilling. Also, Red Shirt is pretty on fire. She's hot. Okay, but she does have a boyfriend, so keep that in mind. Tonight on Unsolved Mysteries, we investigate how one enters Facebook jail for posting something they saw on Facebook. That's exactly right, Eric. And I mean, that's what cracks me up. I mean, I'm going to be 100% honest. A few years back, like during the last election time, I was very vocal, and a lot of people got mad at my opinions because I was posting a lot of political on Facebook. My opinion, I'm entitled to that. That's what the format is. But the funny thing about it is the one side, everything, they could post really, really nasty stuff and their posts never got removed. And I would post something, but I would back it up. Like I would literally research or post it, and mine would get removed and said I went against community standards. And sometimes the post that I made was not even something I said. It was something that somebody else said that I literally shared from their post. Theirs stayed on, but mine got removed. So it was kind of like I toned down that aspect of it a lot because I know Facebook is going to constantly throw me in Facebook jail. So I just said, okay. But when I'm posting pictures I'm taking somebody sharing a picture of a panda bear or something, and I'm sharing it, and Facebook's saying, okay, we took it off because you're trying to solicit views. And I'm there, wait a minute, this wasn't even my post. I'm sharing somebody else's. That's kind of where it gets ridiculous.
Bird said, I've never heard of Facebook jail. Hilarious sounds like a badge of honor.
Oh, for me, I am honored because I think I won probably the top prize because it's like I said, one time I simply made a comment. Somebody turned me in. I totally agree with you. That was my comment on their post. And my comment got removed because it said it went against community standards.
I've never been put in Facebook jail, but I just share things.
They laugh. Oh
yeah, it's hilarious
because they saw like the contest in particular.
That's the thing that was the craziest. It was like you're soliciting views and likes and everything. Is that what you're supposed to do?
That's a contest. Yeah, it's funny as heck. Let's see. Yeah.
So any more questions or concerns or anything before we?
Yeah, because we're at an hour and a half, which we rattle on. Especially me, I'm sorry, but this is the first time we've been on in how long?
Oh, it's been probably a few months.
No, I don't think months. That's a good few weeks. Linda, when was the last time we was on? Can you do a real quick check on that? Or Eric or B Squared, somebody?
2 months ago.
It can't.
No, that was.
Yeah, I know.
Never mind.
So she said, Eric said almost 3 weeks ago.
1 month ago.
Yep, almost a month ago. Yep. That's what I thought because we've been busy.
So, I mean, like actual videos, like not lives, but actual.
Oh, yeah, we haven't done an actual, because you don't want to edit. And you don't even edit. You just you put on an intro and an outro. Well, yes, you do. That's all you do on it.
I have to go through it to make sure that, and I have to, every single clip, I have to mirror, or else we look weird.
We look weird, especially me.
Stop it.
So you're not helping anything.
That's not what I meant.
Lord. Oh my goodness gracious. So again, if anybody has a topic that they want us to discuss, we'll try. I promise, Linda, we'll try to get at least one in a week here now.
It's going to be difficult though, because the whole jail thing. And I hang out with my boyfriend on the weekend.
Well, let's say from sometimes Monday, because sometimes she doesn't know when she wants to come home. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is probably our best bet for filming. Friday night, we usually have overnight investigations or flashlight tours or something going on, as goes Saturday. And then now we're supposed to be over there Sunday evening. So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday is pretty much kaput for the team, especially for if Lurking Spirits wants to put something on. Sunday night is out. Monday night normally would have worked, but she doesn't want to come home sometimes or doesn't know when to come home. And Pee-wee really.
Pee-wee hates when I'm gone for the weekends.
Pee-wee gets so upset when she's gone, Linda, that he hovers onto us and he clings to us and he cries and he's like, where's my mama at? And she's gone.
I tell him every single weekend. I said, hey, I'll be back on Monday.
He doesn't like you leaving.
I know, but it's got to happen.
You break his heart. He's just a poor cat.
He's fine. Look at him. I'm not going to be...
Poor P. So, but that's what's going on. So we how long is the jail sentence? That's a good question. P squared. I think the longest that I got, was either 3 days or a week. Now, they completely ban you from everything. Sometimes they'll just ban you from commenting or sharing. Sometimes they'll totally ban you. They will up to, normally they'll do like 24 hours or a couple days. And then if they get you, if you're consistent, like considering, I guess I was, they'll up it to like a week. If it keeps on going on, they'll do it for a month. I think once you get, which I was never that far, but I think once you get to a month, if it happens again, then they threaten to ban you permanently. So
For her though, she's a repeat offender because they have something out for her.
yeah. I mean, I can't even. I'm on a contest now, Face of Fear. Face of Horror. And we're taking votes. I think tomorrow night, the first round of people gets knocked off. I entered it last year and I made it pretty far. I think I was in the second to last round. I only had one more round to go and I was booted. This time, I don't think I'm going to make it that far. And I'm going to be honest with you because Jason Hawes from TAPS, somebody that he knows, and they're consistent first place. Since Jason Hawes is promoting, I looked and they've been consistently in first place. So I'm hoping that I can go a distance somewhat, but I won't win probably. Not probably, I won't win. But I do appreciate all the votes anyhow. But I'm surprised Facebook hasn't kicked me off saying that I'm trying to solicit votes. What? Yeah, I've been pretty much consistently saying 8. That other person too that's on there, I know them. They're one of my friends, and they're consistently 8 too. But if you go on the one that Jason's promoting, that person has been consistently number one, number one, number one, number one. So how in the world are you supposed to get anywhere if you have somebody like Jason Hawes promoting you? So, but whatever. It's Did anybody vote for me on there? Please vote, 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 vote.
Well, let me check now. What the heck?
Yeah, see, that's what it keeps on saying to me. It keeps on saying log on, even though, whatever.
Well, it tells you to log in and you press it, and then it's like, thank you for the free vote.
They are secretly debunkers. They they could be. They're debunking me and everything I say.
Debunkers.
Yeah, I probably could go on and you could put a picture of Pee Wee on, and I'll say, "Oh, I like this," and I'll share it, and Facebook would come on and say, "I'm trying to solicit votes," or "I'm trying to solicit views illegally," or against their standards. So yeah, it's crazy. But we're at 1:36 now. Please, guys, if you want a certain topic for us to discuss on our next video, which this is Wednesday. Tomorrow we will be on Lurking. Are you going to be on the Lurking Spirit ones with me and Abby? Okay, so it'll be me, you, and Abby.
Like, depends on how my stomach is.
Gabrielle will be on here tomorrow night with me and Abby. So we'll be doing just
Got
we are really, really, really trying to set up some kind of a location, but we've run into another problem. We've been trying to find a location to investigate, but the other problem we rose into is now when are we going to find time to fit an investigation because of the hours we're working at the jail. Now, mind you, the group works Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday. I'm taking bookings and appointments and doing paperwork and that every day of the week. So I get tired. I have to take a nap. So, but we promise you, we will get back on again. You could take a picture of Pee Wee's. That one probably would get me banned for a month, which is funny because I seen somebody else had a picture of a cat's butt on there and it stayed on. And somebody, I was flicking through some of the reels on Facebook, and a couple of them came up was really bad, and they're still on. But if I posted something like Pee Wee's butt, I would definitely, I'd get banned probably for a month. I bet you any money I would.
Probably.
So, but that's kind of what's going on, folks. Just text us, comment on here because she saved on here. We'll save the comments.
Yeah, it should replay them.
Contact us somehow. Maybe we could have Bash Gabby night or something. Linda would be happy with that one.
Yeah, it would.
Gabby, don't push the button night.
I don't agree with that.
Don't torture Pee Wee night.
No.
No,
Don't torture Gabby night.
Look at that. He's even shown his tooth. So,
hey, toofuses.
He's shown his toofuses. So, but leave a comment, contact us somehow on Facebook, on our Real Talk on Facebook, on the community page, somehow with a topic that you want us to discuss. Linda, I thank you very much for suggesting and going along with the debunking one here. I hope it went over real well tonight. And I have a quote that we usually, because we always end with a quote, we start with the fun facts. It's Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice. As everybody knows, Beetlejuice is coming out. Yeah, see, I just got a thing for the Face of Horror for the first cut tomorrow. So, well, no,
tell Dylan to vote for you.
The first cut is the top 20. I'm number 8. So I know I'll make it to the next round. So the rounds after that, I don't know. But we'll just wait and see. So
I think that the next to last one is the top 10.
I know the two last ones I think are top. No, the last one I think is the top 5 or 3. The second to the last one.
The next to the last is like top 10.
Yeah, and I did make it that far last time because I only had one more round to go.
Well, you stay in the top 8. Positive.
Can't say positive when you're Jason Haas promoting somebody.
Anything.
I'm not that well liked. I don't have people that's going to go on there and say, "Oh yeah, hey, that's my friend Diane. Let me hurry up and cast all these votes." Could use that money. We could use that money, but we're not privileged and we're not up there with people that have a name like Jason Haas.
When I get my next paycheck, I'll vote for
it. Come on there where you pay for the votes. Yeah, like, geez.
I'll pay for some.
I mean, gosh.
Winning this time. There's no ifs, ands, or buts.
Happy to answer. So Linda, I'll contact you and let you know when we're going to go live. Well, you kind of watch out for us anyhow. But this has been an hour and 41. We always run it over our hour, which we for us anyhow. But this has been an hour and 41. We always run it over our hour, which we really should stop. But everybody, they all interact. So
yeah, commenting.
They love us.
We can't blame it on ourselves this time.
But since we had the topic tonight, we had people commenting about ugliness and the debunking thing and everything like that. The quote that I'm going to end it is, since the new Beetlejuice movie is out, was "Never trust the living," which.
What can you take over the stream?
Take over. We'll have just focus on Pee Wee Day. Let's focus on Pee Wee. So, but
hey, this is not who wins.
So we'll get, like I said, our ending quote there is "Never trust the living," which kind of seems to be appropriate with Facebook and with the ugliness and the debunking thing. So it kind of all fit along. We've rattled on long enough. So with that being said, we always end with stay tuned.
Peace out.
Okay, good night, everyone.